Chief James Fry, Police Chief James Fry, Police Chief James Fry, President Future, Visible Invisible, for what we want to know. And we want to know what, Tony? Let us know so I can just say yes.
We want to know is, do you and your department know what you guys are doing? Were you at the bar and why? Are you covering for someone? Do you know the killer and can you describe the killer? And are you guys tampering with evidence?
Wow. And then for what's hidden and hidden behind darkness, and the God and the saints will reveal the answers to our questions. Here we go. Here we go. First two coming out for Police Chief James Fry. It says, and these cards are kind of weird right off the get-go. I've never seen these two together. It says triumph, but there's something that could come out, cut off his head. So he was triumphant in doing something that could literally cut off his head, end his career, change everything. That's interesting. Those are two interesting cards right out the gate.
Good way to start.
It says, and across that it says, that's the struggle, that's the battle, that's the sacrifice, that's the game, that's, you know, where you gotta fucking make sure you're defending yourself. Yeah, go ahead.
So, you know how he's a cop and they didn't find like
evidence?
Or, you know, maybe he told them what to do to not leave shit.
I mean, they said they had a footprint, but maybe he told them what to do, because we talked about this, and don't think that I'm some kind of serial killer, but I even said, not that I ever would, but I'm going to throw it out there. If I was going to kill someone, and just thinking in that sense of the mind, I wouldn't wear my size shoes. I wouldn't wear a brand that I would ever wear. I wouldn't make sure that any of my hair, I would shave everything on my body. I mean, because DNA can be left by anything, an eyelash, and you're screwed. So somebody had to know what they were doing or know how to disrupt a crime scene, right? Because it's true. When there's a crime scene and someone doesn't know how to go in there, or they're not in there with booties or whatever, they can fuck up everything and track shit all over the place. And that fucks up the crime scene. So that's an interesting thing. And you're right, Moore, that's a great point. It says around that, it talks about God. So we'll see what God plays a part in this. Maybe he's going to become, and he's laughing again at me. It says, because things are in delay. It talks about in the past, like there wasn't a decision that had to be made. There was nothing that needed to be done. But I guess it got to the point where something needed to be done. I mean, that's what's coming out of my cards. It says, and this would bring a huge burden to his back. Man, it says, at the same time, it says, didn't want there to be hardship in the future. Okay? And going up the ladder, then it says, going up the ladder, a man who goes upside down. It says, and rest assured, there's my card. I'm going to go upside down too. This is not good, guys. And then it says, but this is something, how would you put it? This was something that they had to do. It was dark. It was something dark. You get what I'm saying? Talking about something dark. It says opportunities. It says, and a woman. And possibly nature too. It's talking something about nature. And then it says 3 women.
3 women died.
It talks about 3 women.
Yeah.
And in the crossing of that, it says, and the sun shines. A little odd, don't you think?
Yeah.
Or is that just me?
No.
You guys, what do you think? That's a little odd, right? I mean,
we're off to a good start.
No, we're off to a weird start. Like,
That's why.
For you, because you're not reading, it just makes me feel like, where are we going with this? Like, are we getting into something we shouldn't get into? Like, you guys don't worry because, you're not the one throwing them. Just be, I was a camera guy. I'm good. When I turn up missing, you'd be like, they're not coming for me. But you know everything now, so you're screwed. No, I'm just joking. Here we go. All right. So it talks about triumph and something that could cut off his head. It says money's involved. Haven't I said?
Yes.
Well, for people who are new, they want to hear.
Sorry.
Haven't I said the whole way through that there's money involved?
And in every reading,
it talks about money.
Money's big.
Maybe something. I'm not gonna.
It's not speculating.
I'm not gonna speculate. Let's go. And just so you know, let me clear my name out there. In no way, shape, or form am I accusing anybody or saying that somebody did it. I'm just stating the facts of what's here, whether or not it's true or not. As far as what something did or didn't do, is not for me to say. I'm just reading what my cards say. That's it. Okay, so no accusations being made. Just making sure that's clear, especially when we're doing this type of reading. I'm not looking for some type of defamation suit. It says, the house went upside down. This is getting weird. This is not good. I have a weird feel. My heart's pounding. It says, and then here's the card that's going to freak you out more because I just saw it. Do you remember when we read everybody's cards? They said the same thing. It says, no true love.
Yeah.
Wow. It says, and then it talks about, and no defense. Like there's no defense. They can defend.
And they were asleep.
It says, and then, and maybe this is just what he's thinking. Maybe these are the things that are going through his mind as he's trying to figure out this case too. So I'm not saying that he's a part of it, but it does look a little suspicious. It does say that's the things that are incomplete. So these are the things he's saying. They know that there was no true love. They know that there has to be something about money. House was upside down. No defense. They were defenseless. And then it talks about things that were incomplete. So he could be also overviewing it as subconscious about what's going on right now in the part of his career where they can't get answers. So I'm going to just pull us back there for a second. My heart started pounding really hard. It says, at the same time, there's a struggle, a sacrifice, some type of battle. It's talking about defending here. And it says, because there's someone that tames that lion. To me, someone who tames that lion means that someone way higher than what the chief is has his hand over him for some reason.
Do as I say.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's pulling the strings here, and it's not the police chief. And I don't know what that exactly means, but it's just what it's saying in the cards. And then it says, and there's good things that come from that. You've got someone in a high position, and this is, again, speculation. You got someone in a high position who definitely can influence with money and other things your decisions at some point, or, your indecisions, or your lack thereof knowledge, or anything to that matter. It says, and I'm just, again, speculating, but it says that something happened so quickly, it said, and so there's no temptation. So not about temptation. It just had to be done. You know what I'm saying? Everybody says the same thing, but this is saying had to be done. This isn't like a temptation. Like we're talking about, people saying a serial killer does this, that. No, man. This is something that had to be done. This is some movie type shit. There's going to be a movie about the Idaho 4.
Oh, yeah.
Mark my word on that one, right? It's either going to be Netflix or it's going to be a big movie that comes out once they figure out what's going on. And you're going to remember me for that. It says, and this person, it says, talking about returning. So I guess, again, when someone has pull over you over the top, your career, especially at that level as being a police chief, kind of hangs in the balance. Even this murder, if it's not solved or something doesn't happen where they can get some results, is going to affect the integrity in his career. Because it's like, well, how could we not have found a murderer here? Sure, it's unsolved, but is it? That's all I'm going to say. All right, here we go. Next card that pops up is God. And so when he pops up my cards, it's interesting. It says, there's impatience and at the same time, opportunities. It says the past, man, people always have a past, right? It says the past is not a good one, not a happy one. And then it says, but not angry. So I don't know if there's some things that happen. There may be, and again, if you're in a position of power and you get someone to a place, and maybe not small towns, maybe they're more strict, but I don't know. But I would think corruption runs wild everywhere. And so when you get to a position or someone puts you in a position, you usually have an ace in your pocket that guarantees you loyalty. Okay, so to speak, right?
Yep.
I think that happens everywhere. And even if you go into Congress, you have to join certain lobbies and be into certain groups in order to get certain clout and get certain power to be able to do things. Okay, here we go. It says the burden that falls, and remember, we have to we have to talk in circles, right? That's what we've been told. So let's be careful here. It talks about the burden on his back. And again, right now, the burden would be the Idaho 4, right? He needs to get some answers. He needs to do something.
Gotta get something out.
Because, and we talked about this, if you're not in the first 48 hours, that shit's going to get away from him unless, they're still processing shit. But come on, it's been a while now. We're almost going 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah. It says, alone, it talks about the burden on his back just on him. It says, but either way, he's triumphant.
This is weird, man.
In other words, like saying, even though we may not find the murderers, and that may look kind of dark on me, but we haven't even have enough evidence or whatever they got back or whatever.
He succeeded.
He still succeeded. He's triumphant. It says, and that was a decision he made all for himself. It says, a woman also of money and power. And it says, and someone else, another person with money and power. That's interesting.
That's a lot of people with money and power in Idaho.
But yeah, honestly, yeah. You know what? I wondered about that, but like I told you, I knew a kid from Idaho, and he told me like everybody has their house there and got money, and yeah.
I was thinking, the one guy's mom and dad is powerful, right?
Yeah,
They're like doctors.
Yeah, you're right.
or
John
something.
Jack Showalter's
Maybe
parents
they paid him to
are very wealthy.
be quiet, and that's why they left.
And the uncle
I'm saying
is,
maybe.
what is the uncle?
The uncle's an attorney general. The attorney general. So I mean that kind of ties in with John Jack Showalter, which is really interesting. And again,
And he was there.
why would a police chief like James Fry, if we can say it's a match, because you guys seen the pictures earlier, why? And you might want to show them again. You might want to put them up again so they can see them. But why would he be at a bar with a bunch of college kids? They say he's talking to the bartender, but regardless, I mean, I wouldn't think that a police chief would hang out there. Whether he's conducting business or not, that's something I don't know. But it just seems a little odd, especially at 1:32 in the morning. Unless he was coming to see what's her name told Adam. What's her name? Dylan or Kaylee. Well, she told him. She said she told him everything. We have that through all the videos where she's saying, I told him everything. What did she tell him? Was it something that could jeopardize the careers of all these people, or something that could jeopardize these kids? Exactly. Exactly. Why wouldn't he be in uniform? Unless this is something that's off the books. So something seems wrong here. Maybe I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I'm just putting it out there. It says no hardship. So there would be no hardship in the future. It says, okay. It talks about, this should become very clear. Things are going to become very clear. It says a woman who's no longer angry. And then it talks about, so there was an angry woman and a woman who's no longer angry. And I said in the beginning of the videos, there was some turbulence, I think, between the two roommates, between Dylan and Maddie and the other four. There was some turbulence that was going on.
And on the readings, there was always an angry woman.
Yeah, always an angry woman who's not angry anymore.
Job, pretty much saying like job's been done.
I mean, so far, we don't have anybody. It says, go ahead, yeah.
So, usually when you're a cop and you are like in the scene or you've seen something, they don't let you be part of the case. Do you know what I mean?
Right, because if you're part of the whole thing, then you have to be excluded because you could be a suspect.
So he's kind of like part of it. Why is he still on the case? Because he was there that night, if it is him. You get me? That's an excellent point, Moni. Moni's been on fire today. And that's an excellent point. But the reason is because it's true. I can't fathom the fact that the police chief is there at 1:32 in the morning with a bunch of college kids not in uniform, and maybe we're seeing his doppelganger again. But man, that shit looks. I mean, it's a small town, so
It's a small town. I could see the interaction, but not with someone at that level. You know what I mean? I would think.
Not a uniform at 1:32, and why is he still in the case if he was with them?
And he's a police chief.
So he would be.
He has a 9-to-5 job.
But nobody's saying anything because somebody of money and power has some pull, some serious pull. It says, and that's why the world is upside down. Oh, shit. It says, a man, that's interesting, and a woman who became very unfortunate. Were they unfortunate because maybe they weren't part of what the target was? Were they just unfortunately there and they had to get rid of them? It says, a man, it says, who couldn't master things, couldn't fix things, couldn't handle things anymore, couldn't something. Who does that sound like? Now, here it's saying, because he wasn't going to have money. To me, this switches, and pay close attention. It says a guy and a girl who were unfortunate. A guy and a girl. So we know there was two girls who were unfortunate, and a guy and a girl were unfortunate because they were killed. And then it talks about a man who comes for money. It says who couldn't master things. Who couldn't master things in his reading? John Jack Showalter.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. He
couldn't. He got kicked out of the frat. He was having other problems. He had anger issues. I mean, there was a lot of things here, right?
Yeah.
And then it says, but because maybe his money was being taken or something happened, but it's money upside down, it shows. And it showed that in what? His reading.
Yep.
Why would he know that? Is it his job to know that? It's because he should have all the facts or something else.
The parents probably told him, like, hey, keep an eye on my son.
Man, for me not wanting to say shit, I'm going to hang myself here. Here we go. It says, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. It says, so here's what it's saying. So stress. Talks about stress. It says, a new beginning, though. Why a new beginning? A new beginning with what? It says a new beginning by taking two different roads. That's not a good thing. So if you're going to mislead someone, you're going to take them down a different road.
Yep.
And you're going to make sure that they kind of stay on that road. But now it says a new beginning down a different road, a different approach. First, it was the house. So it doesn't mean that he did anything. It's just saying down a different road, right?
Yeah.
You guys take your own conclusions from whatever I'm saying. It says a new beginning down a different road. So you're going down this investigation and you have this theory that's going on, but all of a sudden there's a piece that just doesn't fit. And so you got to start all over again and go down a whole different road because they said the first it was the house, then it was a targeted attack, and then it might be a serial killer.
But now maybe it's because they have that picture of him at the bar, so he has to take a different road to figure out what do I say, why I was there.
Mona, you and I are in sync right now. I love it. We are in sync. Sorry,
you're on fire.
Sorry. Yeah, she's on fire. Yeah, she's on fire. Definitely.
I should be doing invoices.
It says, okay, so here we go. It's saying that, and here comes my card. Oh, God. It talks about, it says, family that was upside down. So we know that if John Jack Showalter was having some issues, maybe there was things going on in his family as well. It says, no karma. It says, but, so maybe he was having problems with his family or something. It's talking about no karma for what's going on with his family. But it says, at the same time, in the right place, at the right time. And then it says, talks about something that's unhealthy or something not good. It says, and discontent. So something that he's in the right place at the right time to find something out. I'm assuming. But it's not good. It's not good. And it makes him discontent. But that could be that he found out about the people that got killed too.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to because I have to. But I'm just saying that you conclude what you want to conclude out of this, right? This is what it is. It says something that was done that was bad, that was dark. It says, and he could be talking about what other people did. You know what I mean? It says it's true what I'm saying. It says things here are upside down. You know, that they're not fitting together. The puzzle's incomplete. Yep. The cards are talking about. They've created this incompletion. Now, from what I know, in our technology and the state that we're in, and you know, they should have the same technology, I would assume. It's so easy now to put DNA into place, to do all these things, unless you had a serial killer or you made it look like it was a targeted hit as a serial killer. And only somebody who's ever been involved in that field would know. I'm not saying that he did anything, but again, it's a little strange.
He is a police.
It's just a little strange.
He's got connections.
Unless somebody was dressing like him, it's tough to put that weight on real quick. I know it's tough to take it off too. So I'm trying, guys. I've lost some weight. All right, here we go. Guarantee I'm gonna go back to being super skinny. I'm lying. Here we go.
Heard this before.
Yeah. It talks about opportunities, but it says, the opportunities that come with this. And then it talks about a woman. I don't know, like nowadays, I don't know who's more powerful, to be honest with you. There's women who have superpower, like Hillary Clinton, people like that. And there's people who have, that are men still that are powerful. Mostly, there's a lot of women now who are calling the shots. Even in the cartels, scary. I know I should have brought that up. Okay, here we go. It says, but talks about 3 women involved, which we know 3 women went upside down.
Yeah.
Right? It says a face-to-face, something that's face-to-face. Someone talks about a face-to-face. It says not lovers. A face-to-face is not lovers, it's a broken heart. And then it says, and what returns or what comes back, what keeps coming back, it says, was a big change. Had to have a big change. Change of home. Leaving home. A big change had to happen. Which is really strange. And then it says, and the final card here, which we're going to go through, talks about, but the sun shines. It says, a woman who makes an offering. It says, and magically, things change. It says, no death here. But so, like saying no death, like not going to be cut off, not going to get finished here. Maybe, you never know. I mean, just speculating. Something was promised, who knows? It says, and had to take a risk, had to take a chance. What?
Sorry, nothing.
Say it.
So.
Say it.
Me and my theories.
Go ahead.
So, that video was at 132, right?
Right.
They were at the food truck at what, like 140?
Roughly around
141, 42. So what if they saw Adam talking to the cop, so they decided, oh shit, let's leave. So as soon as that clip, they left, and that's why Maddie was saying, what did you tell Adam? Because he's talking to the cop. And then that's why John Jake was like, they're gonna get you, or whatever the fuck he said.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Because that's like 10 minutes apart, so they probably left and went to go get food, like, fuck.
That's a great point. And then for a woman to be able to make an offering, or someone make an offering, because we talk about a powerful woman and a powerful man, it says, and magically things change. It says, where there's no obstacles, no problems. It says nothing to worry about, nothing to cry about, nothing. It says, and that road was wide open. In other words, the road was wide open for things to change, magically change. Again, you make your own conclusions. It says, a girl who was upside down, it says, who was a fool. Who was a fool. In other words, they had to turn a girl upside down for being a fool. Because maybe she told Adam everything, Moni? Mm-hmm. What a fool. You just had to shut the fuck up and everything would have been okay for whatever reason. It's an interesting point.
That's a good point.
And when people are in small town, like that, a lot of people are connected together who are involved in certain things that I don't know. Not saying that he's involved in anything again, but again, you make your own conclusions. It says, justice that's upside down. It says, and spirituality along with it. It says, this must come to an end. And it says, for this problem to go away. It says, it's talking about people being brought to their knees. So it's saying justice upside down, as well as the spiritual part of it. Like wrong. And then it talks about this has to come to an end for this problem to go away. Could there be some type of corruption in this town? I'm not saying he's a part of it. I'm just saying, could there be some corruption in this town?
You had comments, and they said,
I mean, it's known to happen.
High things, this case is so corrupt.
I'm with you. It's talking about it. Of course, we're not making any accusations, but it's talking about people are going to be brought to their knees. It says, and returning back, something that's coming, it says, has been delayed. In other words, what needs to come forward, what needs to bring light, is delayed. It says, there's something about, and I said this, there's something about how are these people related? Has anybody checked to see if people who are in that area of the bar, or like Joe Jack Showalter, the parents, the police chief, is there any association there? Is there any connection there? Is someone giving money to police chief, whatever, for his campaign or for his
department?
Or making payments to build buildings? Or this shit is real because Joan Kroc, who owned McDonald's, she built Joan Kroc Medical Center, San Diego. She built libraries. She did all kinds of stuff. When you're an alum that gives money to people or that you endorse people, you have expectations.
Yeah.
I mean, not everyone, but most people. It says, and this is where you have to decide between good and evil, between black and white. So you guys can come to your own conclusions. This was an interesting reading, and I've been saying, to me, my personal opinion, that doesn't mean shit to anyone, and what my sense is as a gifted person is that something's being not said or covered up, or something's not right, something's corrupt. And I think I've indicated that in a lot of my readings, but again, there's some people with some connections here that go above my pay grade. That is Police Chief James Fry. I know Tony's going to want me to do another reading. This was, I think, an explosive reading.
This was a good reading for the Idaho 4. This was
definitely a good reading.
Had it all.
This is interesting. It had a lot of everything, and it had a lot of everything that we associated with these people that we did in readings, which somehow ties together in a weird way.
He knows everything.
But then again, he knows all the facts, so that could be playing what's in his head. Again, you come to your own conclusions.
This is his mind, his thinking.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, right?